Top of the hour here. We'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. Avish, I see you're there.
I'm here.
Cool. Well, I think probably what we should probably start out with is your telling everyone. By the way, I'm just curious to ask everyone who's on the webinar, if you just put a little question in the thing. If you're a first timer, just say yes in the question box on the GoToWebinar. I'm just curious, how many of you are here for the first time? First time attending a Wednesday webinar of mine? Anyone? Let's see here. Second time, yeah, well, any first timers? Andy says second time. No? Good. Well, repeat offenders are always welcome. This is not a prison. Okay, so Avish, let's talk about what happened with your book launch. So Avish was launching his book, and that is Say Yes and that's sayyesand.com, right?
Yep.
Okay, so tell us what happened there. So yesterday was the official launch.
Yep. Yesterday I was trying to get everyone to buy it.
Okay.
And what's that?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to get some ideas of totals and what you felt you did right and what you did wrong, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, it ended up being, ended up selling about 120 total copies on that day.
Yep.
Which was in between what I would consider a definitive failure and a definitive success. I was shooting for 200, and I was like, if I get less than 100, I'm going to feel like I just, kind of spent more time and energy this past month than I should have if I sold less than 100. So, it was definitely kind of that middle round where I was happy. One of the biggest things that I did achieve that I wanted to out of this launch is I cracked the top 10 in one of my categories. So the book reached number 9 in the motivational category.
Okay. So having done this now, if you were to do it again, what would you do differently?
I think I would spend more time on soliciting good partners to blast to their lists. I haven't gone through because people would buy it and then come to my site to sign up for the freebie I was giving away. So, I was kind of doing multiple aspects of the launch and handling all myself. So I think the one thing I do less of is less writing. I kind of did like blog posts. Now, I wouldn't do too much less for my own blog, but I offered to write guest posts for a couple other people's blogs. I don't know that really helped the launch. That might be more of some of the things I would do later, like writing guest posts for other people's blogs. I don't think that really added to the immediate launch day effect. Similarly, I sent a bunch of copies out of the book for review, and I got some people to review and some to agree to review it. But, you can't really force a reviewer that you don't know to do it on a certain time, so some people still haven't reviewed it, and, some people posted the review a week or two before the launch, so I think getting the book reviewed would be a really useful thing once the launch is done. I don't think it helped my numbers at all getting those reviews done. It took a certain amount of time to reach out to them, go back and forth with them, send them books, blah, blah, blah.
Got it. Okay, so
I think I'd spend more time on finding more partners to help, and also maybe adding more bonuses. I'm not sure. I think the real key is just find that list of people and or finding people with those lists of people to send it to.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, obviously the biggest thing in a book launch like this has to be greatest number of people exposed to, whatever, the material, the site, whatever it is you had. So again, now on speakingexpert.com, is there a link to this book?
That's a good question. I didn't put anything on. I didn't really link Speaking Expert to it.
Okay, you may want to do that just because it would be good to do. Okay. So again, it's all about, I think I did a little bit better than yours in my launch, and I got it up to number 3. But again, I think it has a lot to do with what category you're trying to go after, which is a big, that's a That's a big one there too. And the other thing is, I just did something, Avish, I'll share with you, which I think was pretty cool, and I'll put it in here. Um, in my Vista print, I'll show people, and everybody can see this. By the way, Vistaprint is obviously a great place to go to get cheap stuff. I'm going to log into my account here real quick and just show you. Okay, and let me just see. So I just really, yeah. I'm going to go. This is something I'm actually, I'll show everybody this in a second, but I want to look at my account here. And so what I did was, and this is specifically for your book launch kind of stuff, and not only your book launch, but your ongoing book sales.
Hmm.
Here's something that I did that I I think I just got them in the mail, and they're great. So what I did was I'm trying to see if I can get to this card. Basically, let me just see here. Let's see here. Let me just think here. Printer friendly. Let me see if if I click reorder, let me just, if I could, I wonder if I can make, I just want to pull this thing out. Okay, edit. Okay. Um, so here's the front side of the business, of basically a business card to promote a book. Because you have a lot of options when you have a book. One of them is to have these big, 4x6 postcards. And I thought, forget that. This is basically a business card 3x2, and this is the front side of it. So it's got, and I can't really turn this over, but it's the cover of my book, and then the back side. What I did was I put, some salient bullet points there that included, take what you know, turn it into cash, and so here's, you'll learn blah blah blah. So that's what that looks like, and I printed up 5,000 of them, and I got it for like, about a little over $50, I think. So
Yeah.
this is something that I would encourage you to do, which is to the take the cover of your book, and if we go to say yes and leave the page here. So we could take your book cover, obviously this cover, and that's approximately what it looks like, right? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, it's like 8.5 by 5 or something like that.
Yeah, and you can take that and size it down and create a card. And I just think it's a really good, people spend a lot of time on promotional stuff for books, and I think that would be, it's worth the $50 to have those. So if you're at a conference or you're somewhere, like I just went to Barnes and Noble and stuck it into a couple of books that were in related topics. Of course, I'm sure that's marginally illegal, but I don't think I'll get run
Well,
up.
I think the only thing you'd be arrested for would be littering.
Right. So again, I would consider getting that done and then putting, on the back of it a number of different things, maybe with a bounce back offer or whatever. So those are a couple of my suggestions. Um, and now at the same time, if I go to Amazon, do you now have your the Kindle version of this up yet?
No, I'm gonna wait a couple of weeks. Part of it is I got to re-edit because I did a kind of last round re-editing of the physical book, which I haven't made those changes to the Kindle book, so I got to redo that. And then I like a little separation since I just try to get everyone to buy it for $13. And like, let me give at least a couple weeks before I put it up there for for whatever. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm deciding between $2.99 and $4.99 for the
Well,
Kindle.
here's my recent thing. I just went in there today. I was looking at my numbers, and here's my Amazon Kindle account. I've just increased my price on Sell Your Brain Power to $7.77. This month, I did. Let me just show everybody what I did here in terms of sales. And by the way, I'm not. This is my real account, folks. So this is not like any kind of embellished nonsense. And some of the stuff is selling okay. This one, by the way, 3 returns on 86 orders for Sell Your Brain Power. So I was estimating, and you see these numbers right here. So 83 total sales, and it's the last day of the month. So my idea here was I'm going to test a week's worth of. I'm going to test. So let me just erase this here. Sorry, Avish. So I'm now testing a new price for the Kindle version of Sell Your Brain Power. Launched in physical form at 1995, and then soon thereafter, within 3 days, I took the Kindle version and brought it down to. I actually think, in my opinion, I think you're making a mistake not getting it out there in Kindle version quicker. I just think that, so there's some people who will buy the physical book, some people won't. I don't think that your waiting is going to be, all that significant an issue. So Kindle price $4.99, and this month it looks like I'm going to have, let's extrapolate and say it'll turn into 84 orders. So 84 orders, and 84 orders, the net on that is coming out to about $3.50 an order. So I'm going to make this month, the month of February, where'd my calculator go? It's, what is it, 200 and, I can't find my calculator. Where'd it go? I just
You got it up now.
Huh.
On the right?
On the right? I don't see, it's in front of my control panel. Oh, there it is, okay. So anyway, if we move this over here, so it's, I'm making about $3.50 per book, so that's 3.5 equals, okay, so $294 is what I'm expecting to make this month from that one book. Now, there are obviously other things here I'm selling, but let's just take a look at that for now. So I thought to myself, well, what if I were to increase it to $7.77? And I'm going to do that for a week. And I'm not sure exactly what the, what my price, what my net will end up being, but let's just say if $4.99 gives me $3.50, so let's get the equivalent ratio of that. What is it? So 5 creates $3.50. So if I went 10, it would be 7. And if it's 8, what is that, about maybe $5.50, let's say? Let's just guess $5.50. So at $5.50, so if we take $294, which was the total dollars in sales, divided by 5.5, I'd have to sell 53 units to make the same amount of money. Now, again, here's the question. The question becomes, am I trying to maximize the number of units sold and maximize the number of dollars, or am I trying to get the greatest number of people exposed to the material? I think I sort of a hybrid of that. I want to make money and I want to get the most number of people to buy it. But I'm going to try it at $7.77 just because I think it's a cool price. And I want to see whether or not it works. So if you go back to my bookshelf here, so now what happens is as soon as I make this price change, which I did about 2 hours ago, it now shows up as, they've got to check it. Amazon people have got to, I guess, physically go in there and look at it. But right now it's got this sort of yellowed out thing where it says I'm doing that. But again, all of this is to say that, everybody in information marketing, I mean, Avish, myself, anybody else, everybody is trying to make, we have sort of one goal, and the goal is, clearly the maximization of revenue. So the question is, in Avish's case, and in my case, I have much more expensive things to sell than $7.77 products. But I want to get as many people exposed to the material as possible. So it's sort of a little bit of a, what do I do kind of thing. So I'm also looking into a number of other things, and in terms of ways to generate traffic. I mean, if you take a look at the top traffic generating sites, and we always talk about that, there are different places that you can go to try and get people to see what it is you do. My point of view is I think that price testing, and again, I'm only going to test it for a week, and if I see some significant drop in the number of units sold, I've been shocked though, like I told you before, pricing something at 99 cents, which when I first come out with everything, I price it at 90, if it's an article, at 99 cents, then usually I've been moving it up to $2.99. And 299 is a magical number in Amazon because it's the lowest. That's the lowest number at which you can still get your 70% royalty. And so it's, it's one of these things where you can get more money per item sold, but still sell it at a fairly low price. And I think for articles, that's pretty fair at $2.99. But I want to see if the $7.77 price. Oftentimes, what happens is people see something at 99 cents, they buy less of it than if it's selling at $2.99. So I'm really trying to see whether or not this pricing test will affect number of units sold.
Well, I think you have good leeway too because your physical list price is $19.95. It's not like you're trying to price them both at the same price.
Yeah,
Like it's
exactly.
still a big discount to get the electronic version.
Yeah, when I was considering price testing it, I was considering going to just going right to $9.95, and that's half the price of the physical book. But I still think that at $7.77, it's a price tag that is significant below the physical book, and so therefore I'm anticipating. My guess is, and we'll see next week if we talk about this. By the way, someone is saying that they bought my Sell Your Brain Power on the first day. He's yet to receive the bonuses. What you have to do is you have to do exactly what we asked people to do, which is to go to, and this is, let me just go there. If you go to Sell Your Brain Power, and I kept this up there, and anybody can still buy the book and still get these bonuses. All you have to do is go in there and put in your Amazon, your Amazon order number here, and enter your name and your email address, and you will get all the bonuses, which is how this works. So if you haven't gotten your bonuses yet, or what I did was I extended the offer now so that people could continue to buy the book and continue to get the bonuses, which, since I'm not just going for that one-time launch thing, it's sort of a perpetual launch, that's not a bad idea either. So I would encourage everybody to go ahead and get the book. And that way, anybody who's doing it. So that's a little bit about that. Now, the other interesting thing that's coming up, Avish, you're not able to make it because you've got all kinds of things going on, but and by the way, do you have any questions of me, or does anybody else who is on the webinar have any questions with regards to pricing Kindle stuff? Now, we're going to talk a lot more in future webinars about other means of generating traffic. I'm just thinking that, again, Amazon, great for getting this stuff up quickly, et cetera, and I'm still on pace to do 2 a week. This one that I'm working on right now is going to be sort of long, but if anybody has any questions. Avish, do you have any thoughts or questions on that?
I don't, but I want to say that I think about a week or two ago I tested upping the 2 things I had in there for 99 cents and to $2.99, and one of them I didn't see any change. I didn't really see any change on either, so I think you're definitely right when you say sometimes the $2.99 may be as appealing or more to buyers at 99 cents.
Yeah, so again here, when you launch something, I launch it at 99 cents because I'm trying to get some reviews, get some people to buy the book real quick, et cetera, but quickly, within, say, a week, within a week or two, I move it up to $2.99, and this is obviously for articles, and most of my articles are between 3,000 to 5,000 words. So, and again, both Avish and I are saying that we see no change in the number of people who buy our stuff at $2.99 than at 99 cents, so might as well make a few more dollars. And also, I think there's a perception issue there as well. Any other thoughts on that?
Nope, that's it.
Yeah, well, this coming weekend, we have the JV Partner Summit that I'm doing now every year. We had one last year. We're doing it this year, and this one is going to be a lot more intimate. And so I have, JV partners who are headed out for that, and that's this weekend, and starts on Friday. We go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we're attempting to get a lot of great ideas out of that as well, and maybe record a product also. So that's happening, and that's kind of exciting. But the other thing that's happening is, and again, along the same lines, and folks, just please bear with me because this is a not finished site I'm about to put up here. And I just wanted to show everybody the ebookseminar.com site, which is, if it'll come up, um, I've got now 6 people planned. One person does not want to be identified, so we have him as Mr. X. So this is going to be
Really?
a program, a teleseminar series that I'm going to be doing on basically doing online ebook publishing, specifically with the Kindle, but also talking about Smashwords, etc. Joshua Talent owns a site called ebookformatting.com. Bob Bly has sold tons of ebooks over the years. Jill is a writer. Bill O'Hanlon, also an ebook publisher. Mr. X, who will remain nameless, has done a lot of ebook work, and myself. So we're going to be doing this, and again, we're using the same model. There's a lot of bogus just text in there as placeholders because we're not really getting going, but we're using the same thing here. There'll probably be a whole lot more bonuses than $138. But I would encourage anyone to use this kind of templated site. Now, the other thing, here's something interesting, Avish. I haven't talked to you about this. I'm going to be going to a publishing seminar as an attendee in San Francisco a week from tomorrow. And so what I thought to myself is, okay, if I'm going there, there are going to be a lot of authors. And what can I do? So what I did was I put up this site and came up with author, and I still have it.
Are you typing something in? Because your screen doesn't seem to be changing.
My screen isn't changing?
No, I'm still seeing the ebook seminar.
Oh, no, I
Window.
haven't put it in yet. I'm typing it right now.
Oh, okay.
Here's author2expert.com. Do you see that?
No, but I think there's lag because you're. There we go. Yeah, it's catching up now. Now I'm in your text window.
Huh. Wow.
It's lagging. It's like choppy. It's periodically.
Wow. Sorry about that, guys. So now, can you see anything yet? Can you see author to expert? Anybody else have a problem with this?
I see author to expert in your address window, but it's still showing. There we go. Now the site's up.
Okay. Wow.
Now I can see your mouse too. I wasn't seeing your mouse before.
Wow. Okay. So anyway, so here's the, and again, this is just sort of some placeholder text, but I'm going to a seminar in which I wanted to, and the idea was to come up with, these are books on a bookshelf on the left, and there's Albert Einstein on the right, author2expert.com, and after I did author-to-expert.com, I thought to myself, well, I better reserve the other one, but I haven't yet author2expert.com. And so the whole idea here is that I'm going to be going to a seminar where I have, there are going to be, authors and publishers there. But my thing is trying to find authors who may want to take their material and, turn that into other products and services. So I'm putting together this site just for them. And I went to Vistaprint and got some business cards specifically. Oh, by the way, going back to the business cards promoting your book, one of the things is when you go to Vistaprint, they give you the option. So if you're in Vistaprint, they give you the option to do a matte finish or a glossy finish. And obviously the matte finish is a lot less expensive, but I would encourage everybody, if you're going to use business cards, I got 5,000 printed matte. If I had it to do all over again, I'd get them printed glossy. So it'll actually look like a book cover.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you can get a lot of these done pretty cheap. That's the way to do it. And now, so for this one, again, I'm targeting authors. And I'm having business cards designed. And if we go back to Vistaprint, you'll see that I actually have the business cards in the works here. Where is the most recent one here? Let's see, my account. Here's the one that's in the works, or where is it now? Most recent. I just ordered these. So I have author to expert, and I don't know how I get this to show up again, but author, here we go, preview. So this is what the business card is. Now, can you see this, Avish?
Yeah.
Okay, so the front side is going to look like this, author to expert, and this is going to be the back side. And again, since I am going to an event that is specifically geared to authors, I'm going to be doing and targeting just them. Um,
What are you planning on putting on that site? Is it going to be a product or a coaching service or a
it's going to be
seminar?
just a sort of a, and I'll get to your question, John, in a second. Um, the I'm going to be putting on that site just sort of information about how I work with subject matter experts to help them to create a line of info products.
Hmm.
And so my thought is that I wanted to have a specific site geared just to them and have it be clever and creative. And this is what I came up with. So it's author2expert.com on that side, and then this just author to expert here, which I think being black and white, I mean, it's just a little bit different than most else. Now, John's question was, where else besides hiding them in books at Barnes and Nobles do you put your 5,000 business cards? You know what? Any and everywhere. They're cheap, so any and everywhere that I go, I'll just be, very liberal with scattering them around. Obviously, I don't want to just throw them away. But for example, when I get on a plane in a week or so from now, I will put them in as many seat pockets and in between the pages of the flight magazines as I can. Whenever I go to conferences, I will scatter them around on tables and leave them everywhere I can, just because, what does it hurt? It's certainly not a lot. Now, I have not, if I were really smart, which I decided not to be this time, I would have put a separate URL just for the business card. So let's say instead of putting sell your brain power, I could have done sybp.com or something like that. And I could have then tracked how many of my leads came in from specifically from that business card promotion, similar to what I do with my vehicle, since that has a unique URL on it as well. So, um, John, this is not an exact science, nor am I expecting a flood of orders. But it's certainly, I figured for the $55 or $60 for 5,000 cards, I really couldn't go wrong. And when somebody, where I'm someplace where I'm going to be promoting the book, which I have a couple of different places. I'm speaking at an event in April in San Francisco again, and I'm going to use it there. So, again, I'm not. So, again, different business cards, different purposes, different websites, different purposes, all that kind of stuff. Avish, did you have a question?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, so let's think here. So what I'm trying to say is that we want to be, since little promotional items like the business cards are fairly inexpensive. The other thing that I wanted to show people, and Avish, this is where you and I haven't done that much talking yet. And you said you wanted to get through everything before you did stuff, but let me put this up to show people what I've done here on one thing. I own a site for the last 10 plus years, stress management seminar.com. Haven't done anything with it. So I finally just decided to put up some, some Clickbank products that I found. So I just found a few of these Christian's Guide to Stress. I picked a bunch of them that seemed good. And all of these are what are called hop links. And so if someone finds this site through type in traffic, say they just type in stressmanagementseminar.com, and I'm going to show you what's going on here. Any of these links that they click will take them to a stress management page that sells a product where I will get paid. So that's one of the things that, I since I have an existing site, I just thought to myself, well, why don't I go ahead and start to put some stuff up there? I just got my first $100 plus check. Um, and let's see here. I'll get to something in a second. Let's see here. So this is set up. These are all ClickBank links. These three resource links here. So what I did is I signed up. I'm a ClickBank affiliate. I'm marketing these three products. So if you click on any of these, it'll go to those various sites. And I'm not trying to promote any specific method. I'm just trying to gain some traffic. And the reason for this is, if we go to Google, let me just see if I've got a question from Leslie here. I went to your site because I'm an author who will need services like like you author, I think you offer. I think it's confusing that the URL says to in the title of the site, and your card says to. Yeah, it is confusing because I have not yet done what I'm. And again, I haven't launched this yet. So what I'm going to be doing is I own both site names. I own both. And let me just get rid of some of this stuff here. I own author to expert.com and I own author to expert.com. However, this one has not yet been redirected, and so after I get off the webinar, or I can do it right now, I can show everybody how to do it. I'll just go to my account at Ultra Cheap Domains, and so this is what I do. Let's see here, author to expert. Okay, so I just log in. And again, this is real time. This is what I actually do. And oops, I don't even know my own password, clearly. I'll remember that. So let's go to domain manager, and I will search for author to expert here. It should show up fairly close to the top, but let's go ahead and do it anyway. Author to expert. So I'm going to that one. Here's author to expert. And I'm going to go into author to expert, and I'm going to, where is it here? Forwarding is off. I'm going to manage this and put forwarding on. And I'm going to have that go to www.author2expert.com. I'm going to hit OK. And so now these changes usually take 1 hour. However, it may take up to 48 hours for these changes to take effect. So what I've done is whenever somebody enters author 2, the number 2 expert, so author, and of course it's not going to happen this quick, but if I put in author to expert.com, presumably within the next couple of hours, it's not going to show this, but it's going to redirect to author to expert, and that's how I'm doing it. So that's what's up with that. So this is, that's what's eventually going to happen. So this is just a matter of making that happen. I think everybody, that makes sense, right? Yeah. Okay. So it's redirected. And then the other thing I wanted to show people is that this Clickbank thing is getting me more and more intrigued because I'm seeing like a lot of people making just a bundle of money on this. So with Clickbank, and for those of you who don't know, Clickbank is the biggest source for digital products online. And the reason why I'm interested in Clickbank just because a lot of people are making a lot of money selling digital products, and I have a lot of digital products to sell. And you can make money both creating products and you can make money selling other people's products. Now, this is, I got my first check for a big $103 or whatever it was, and it was from, and this is from one of the other JV partners, filmmakertheme.com, where I'm doing this with Jason. And so we have a product, a theme for filmmakers, how to market and sell your movie in minutes. So anybody who wants to do this, anybody you know who's a filmmaker, it's basically a WordPress theme that filmmakers can use, and it's pretty darn cool. And so what's happening is that we're splitting. This is a three-way split. By the way, this is kind of cool, and you know this, I think, Avish, right? That on Clickbank, you can do JVs with Clickbank making the split. So what happens is that we tell Clickbank that for this product, which is filmmakertheme.com, we have 3 people who are going to get paid. Jason, me, and Dave Hamilton. And so what it does is every time there's a sale, it automatically makes the split between us. and so we don't have to worry about splitting up that money after the fact, which is kind of cool. So that's something that everybody should look into. Now, the reason why it's kind of funny, because for years I've also owned the site name clickbanksuccess.com. Having never been successful, I don't have anything up there with Clickbank, but I just decided it was a great name. And actually, I'm in the process right now of finding somebody who is very successful on Clickbank and will agree to be interviewed and put a product together. But it's really funny. I mean, I've had very, very little success getting people to respond to me, and I don't know if it's because I've got if I've got cooties or something, but people are just they're not really interested in doing that. So I'm actually trying to talk to some of the executives and get a hold of them at Clickbank to see if they will help put something together. But because I think it's a cool site name as well. So that's what we're doing now. Avish, were you aware of this whole three-way split deal that you could do on Clickbank?
Well, I haven't done much with Clickbank. I think you told me that you could automatically set up the split in there, but I had never played around with it. So
Yeah, Jason told me about that a few months back, and then he set hours up to do it that way. And so I'm really interested. I mean, the beauty. I mean, I've heard people just with ridiculous numbers, like some guy that's making an extra $30,000-$40,000 a month. Now, let it be my biggest problem that I'm making an extra $3,000 or $4,000 a month on ClickBank. But the thing about it is it's all about digital products and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, if you look at ClickBank, and it's tons and tons and tons of digital products, and you can both sell products and you can be an affiliate for products, and it's cool. And this is, there's no big upfront fees here. The only thing I will tell you that screwed me up early on when I first started getting going with ClickBank is that if you make a little bit of money and then you don't make enough money to hit a threshold of like $100, slowly they take the money away. So you all of a sudden get really pissed off because you go, wait a second, I made money and now you say I have no money. So I got really annoyed. But there's
wait, what do you mean what do you mean they take money away? They start
well,
charging you?
yeah, they start charging you unless you've done, and they've got a very, it's in their terms and agreements, and it's very clearly stated. But it's just like I thought I had money, and then all of a sudden the money went away, and so it got me pretty annoyed. But then I realized that I had not fulfilled. You have to have 5 transactions from 5 separate credit cards and hit over $100 for them to cut you a check. And so there are certain stipulations that they have in there. And it's one of those things where it actually makes sense from their standpoint, but unless you know about that, you can get screwed. But
Yeah.
it's something. And Avish, especially you're sort of a little bit hesitant to be like trying to be a big self promoter. The nice thing about ClickBank is you can be promoting other people's products. And I just bought another, somebody else's product on ClickBank. But again, this is something, and I'll share with you, some of the stuff that I have. But again, I'm taking notes on this for all the JV partners. And let's see, we have more questions from the audience here. Yeah, you know what? If that person, Leslie, that by the first name Michael, if you want to have him contact me, I'm just not going to run after people anymore. I'm fredgleek at gmail.com. If you know him, and again, he's got to be, at least marginally successful, or else it's not going to work. Have him contact me at, this email address right here. So good. Avish, let's talk a little bit about, did you take a look at the latest traffic numbers for the site?
For Speaking Expert?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's leveled off from all the big boost we got back with the teleseminar promotions. It's been about averaging somewhere around 20 to 25 a day.
Which is really not bad. But now, my question is, how many opt-ins do we have on that list now?
Well, I mean, that easing that goes out now has all between 1,000 and 1,100 because that got a huge boost from the teleseminar.
Okay, so let's say we have 1,000 people. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Here is what we may want to do. And this might be your first exercise on ClickBank, is you go into ClickBank, set up an account and make it a joint venture with me. And let's see if we can find some things that might be relevant to speakers. Because oftentimes when you try and promote your own stuff, it's not nearly as effective as promoting everybody else's stuff. So let's try and monetize some of these 1,000 people that we have by looking around. And so what we would do is we'd go into Clickbank and we look at promote products. And I did this the other day, by the way. And so one of the things that we can do is, we look for, let me just see here. Find products. Speaking will be our keyword here. And there are a number of speaking related products. And there are some things here that I'll explain to you later, but these things like gravity and how much the sale is, you can find different things where we can make money. So if I wanted to promote this particular product, I'd click on promote. It would throw me up. I would put in my account. You can create an account nickname for it. This one gives you 75% of the sale, but there's a number of different things that you should look at here. That what we can do is we can not only, the whole idea here is we have 1,000 people on the list, right? So we want to try and, monetize these people. And with Bill DeWeese making, some ridiculous amount, what is it now, $4 per head. I mean, we've got money in that opt-in list that we should start to tap and make use of.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something we can do. And also, so if you set up your Clickbank account, by the way, I'm going to show you more and more of that as well, because I'm going to start to really spend some time paying attention to it. I have a feeling that when everything's all said and done, similar to Kindle, I'll feel even stupider for having waited this long, because I've been doing this a long time and I got a ton of digital products, and Clickbank is a natural for me to be involved in. I guess I've seen a lot of kind of slimy stuff, but it's there's a lot of the numbers are huge on this thing. I mean, if you look at when you go to their homepage and you look at earnings paid out, they've paid out over $2 billion with a B dollars worth of commissions. It's a lot of commission dollars, And so it's like it says here, Avish, it's our turn.
It is our turn.
You know what? We need to get some of that cash. So again, I think that it's all a matter of, and why is this? Because whether and just like when you Google top 10 most traffic sites on the internet, and here's the Alexa top 500, and this is so the top sites. So what I'm trying to do is, obviously, and by the way, Google, I just found out Google has a program. I haven't been able to figure this out yet. And this is important. Google has a program similar to Kindle where you can sell ebooks directly through Google. I'm looking into that right now. So the top Google, Facebook, YouTube, Yahoo. And you have to ask yourself when you look at these, how are you making the maximum use of these programs? And again, I'm looking at it, I'm getting embarrassed here because I'm not really making use of LinkedIn at all, and it's the 12th most traffic site on the internet. So if you look at LinkedIn here and you click on it, its rank in the U.S. is number 10, worldwide is number 12, and there's some big numbers here. So it's unbelievable. And
I got a question that may be a little off topic, but you're talking about highly trafficked sites.
Yeah.
Have you started doing anything with Pinterest?
You know what? I signed up.
Okay.
I saw that.
I've been reading all these things about that, how that's growing fast and that's getting more traffic than like YouTube. And
the reason why I wasn't as interested is I looked at their demographics, and it's primarily female. Not that I have anything against women, which I certainly do not. But it looked as if the demographics of Pinterest were not. And for those of you who don't know, Pinterest, it appears to me, is basically a photo kind of site, right?
Yeah, I think Amanda started using it. I haven't used it much, or I haven't used it at all yet. But yeah, you pin up images and it kind of creates, and people can share it. There you go, online pin board.
Yeah, so I mean, it's this place is getting, it's getting a lot of stuff, um, a lot of traffic, and let's go back to Alexa and put it in there, um, and let's see here. Let's see where Pinterest is, and let's just see it. Yeah, number 16 in the U.S.
Wow.
So it's getting a ton of traffic. So yes, we should be figuring out. Look at that curve, by the way, going up.
Yeah, it's growing fast.
Yeah, so it's let's take a look. Maybe they have demographics here too. Complete site demographics. Okay. By the way, this is at alexa.com. So here it is. It's male and female. I guess it's males are generally underrepresented. Females are what does it say? Overrepresented, or females are greatly overrepresented.
Yeah, so it definitely skews female.
And um, it skews
25 to,
young, 18 to 34.
so if your market is young females, Pinterest is the place to be.
Absolutely. Yeah, so again, this is a good tool to use, is to go to Alexa and do this. You can pin it. Yeah, I mean, Leslie says you can pin images of your product. Yeah, you can, but if nobody's interested in buying them, you can pin other people's images on your board. John says the images link back to the sites they come from. Good for driving traffic if you have good images. Yeah, I don't really know enough about this to give a qualified response. I just read. You probably read something about it on Mashable too, right?
Yeah, I mean, someone told me about it like a month or two ago, and yeah, I've been seeing things, and just on Dig, some of the headlines talking about Pinterest is driving more traffic. I'm not sure who the original site was, but yeah.
Yeah, and Leslie, don't make the mistake. Leslie says, I'm a female and I bought your book. Leslie, don't confuse individual scenarios with generalized results. We have to be looking at what is the average person. The fact that you bought it is, I'm just saying I know my demographic. And my demographic is probably 80% male. 80%. I mean, right on this webinar right now, I can just tell you, looking down the names, you were you're in a definite minority being on this call, Leslie. That's all I could say. So I'd say 80% of my customers are men. And so anecdotal or experiential results, are not the way to make decisions. The way to make decisions is to look at real data and not sort of what we think or what we would feel or what we want to be the case. So although Pinterest, I'm not saying I wouldn't use it. I think it's probably a good idea to try it. But with that being said, it looks as if from these demographics, it's not hitting the kind of people that I want. But that they're getting so many hits that I'm sure it's worth doing. And also, who knows? The women might be the early adopters, and men are going to follow later. Who knows? Let me just see here which search analytics are. Again, worth looking into, and certainly if that's your market. So, let's. David says, and yet 80% of coaching clients are female. Again, David, coaching for what? Given by whom? My demographics of coaching clients, again, 80% male. So coaching clients in general, but we're not talking about in general. We're talking about very specific things. So general, specific. Let's try and understand who your market is. I mean, if your market is general coaching, yeah, then 80% of your people are women. But in my case, that's not true. I can just look at my own numbers. I mean, would I love it to be more female? Absolutely. I love women. I have nothing against them. Fully in favor of all kinds of women's rights. And women's money too. It's the same. It's just as green. They deposit it just as readily at the bank. The bank has never asked me where the money came from, and so if they start that, I'll have to move banks. So, Vish, any final thoughts on your side? Now, again, what we're going to do in the future here is we're going to be looking at, and again, I've looked at some interesting stuff people are putting out there on how to generate traffic using YouTube and a few other things. So I'm looking into that, but there's so much crap out there. So again, future topics here, generating traffic using YouTube and some of the other stuff. We're going to look at some Clickbank. And how to monetize that. We're already doing Kindle. By the way, my Kindle sales, look at this, Avish. This is pretty interesting. KDP, here it is. I wanted to show you this. And this is for, again, I've been cranking out a lot of these Kindle books, and I wanted to just show Avish and everybody else who's on here. This is the numbers for the last prior 6 weeks royalties. Total $717.
Wow.
That's real money.
That is real money.
For
6 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, so what I'm saying is this, this stuff, and this goes back to my philosophy, which, by the way, for those of you who haven't heard it, and Avish termed it, is Gleeconomics. And that is the science, the art and the science of generating 100 checks a month from 100 different sources. So the whole idea is if I can generate, here a check, there a check, everywhere a check, and, you don't have to go to Prague to do that, by the way. So I'll be here all week. So what you have to, what you have to do is find a way to get little checks. And I actually prefer, if I can get a couple $500, $600, $700, $800, $1,000 checks coming in from 100 different sources, that becomes real money. And so let's look at ways to generate. I mean, this check right now, if it's $717 for 6 weeks, then if we take that, and again, this check is going to go up. So 717 divided by 6 to get the weekly check. Whoops. Clear. So 717 divided by 6 is equal to, so I'm getting about $120 a week. So if you take $120 a week, for most people, $500 a month is a pretty decent car payment. So, and again, we can generate some real money with these different sources here. So I'm giving you guys, and Avish, I'm thinking about you as well. I mean, you're the one that we've had this conversation that we need to, as you get married and your wife starts to demand more toys, and fun stuff, you're going to have to start to figure out ways to get Amanda like these kinds of, so a little bit here and a little bit there, and that's what I'm thinking.
This is very true.
So anyway, there we have it. I think we're sort of reached the end of our topic area for today. So